good, folks? It's All Things Country here, along with my buddies, the Black Flies. Don't know if you guys can make that out, but spring has sprung. We are back in the same spot where we went for the Dollar Store Challenge video, and today we're going to be processing some clay from the dried up creek bed, looking for some of that super fine, awesome flower gold. Now, I know this place is loaded. I've been here. I can tell you from experience. I come here every year and I get lots of nice gold. Today I'm going to show you how I process that clay to get all that gold out of it. Over here in my immerse, or my man bag if you will, I have my power drill, and I have a special bit that I use to chop that clay up, and I'll show you that in just a minute. So let's get the show started.
Alright, so we are back at our man-made creek that the farmer created to feed his pond. The water comes ripping through here during the spring when there's flood, and it brings the flood gold with it. And we're going to be processing the first 3-4 inches of clay, trying to find that this year's flood gold. Let's take a look.
So I don't know if you guys can make this out, but to my left down here is the inside bend. This is the inside bed of the man-made creek. The water comes ripping through down here to fill the farmer's ponds. As it does, this is where it's depositing the heavies. If you look closely, you can see it's actually built up. All the water is kind of down the middle, and it's left all these deposits down that side. Now there's some beautiful clay, and in that clay is some gravels, some black sand, and hopefully a lot of gold. It's been my experience that it's usually the first 25 feet or so gives you the best gold. So today that's where we're going to be taking our samples from, and I'm going to show you how to process that clay. But for now, let's get digging. Alright gang, so I just wanted to give you guys a look at what our material looks like other than the inside of somebody's Huggies. It's absolutely gross, but sloppy stuff. Nice thing about clay though, it's so easy to dig when it's wet like this. We just had a rain. If you go and you look down inside, you can see, especially around here, lots of small gravels and heavies that have dropped out and been caught by that clay. That's awesome. This is exactly what we're looking for. So I've got 2 pails with me. We're going to head down over to the creek, which is kind of over here. And we're going to fill the second bucket with water. I'm going to come back and I'm going to show you how the drill works to break up this clay. Alright, so we've got this bucket almost topped up with water. No sense in splashing it over the sides, but she's almost topped up. So it's maybe half water, half that clay that we dug. I've got a little bit more water here because we're going to need it for the next couple of steps. But I've got 2 secret weapons. So this here, you've ever seen people use jet dry for panning or for sluicing? This is biodegradable dish soap. So I like to use this when I'm out and about, something in a situation like this, because it doesn't harm the environment. You can use this here and pour it out in the bush and it'll biodegrade and it won't hurt anything. So we'll put a few drops of that if I can get it open. There you go, miner's teeth. Put a little bit in there, and here we have our power drill. So the bit that I have on the end here, it's the same bit that you get in a hardware store to stir paint. Essentially all this is going to do is chop up the gravels, get everything moving and churning, and free up whatever gold hopefully is trapped in that clay. Now you'll notice when I was digging earlier, I don't know if you picked up on it, but I took some of the larger rocks out by hand, but I left some of the bigger, chunkier pieces in, because the more of those that we have in there, that's going to help, stir that clay up. Kind of like the BB that's inside of a spray paint can, right? Those are going to move around. They're going to help that clay churn and move around as well. So let's go ahead. We're going to stir this up and get everything moving. I'm going to stir it up just to show you guys what it's like, but I will warn you when you do this at home, if you do this at home, you're going to have to move quick. So to stir it up once, I'm going to have to stir it up again before I sort through it, but I'll explain that to you in a second. Alright guys, so just wanted to give you guys a quick show. Now that all that clay is beaten out, you can see all the little rocks that are still coated in clay. But everything is broken up really nice. I can reach my hand, I can dig right off the bottom of the bucket. Those are rocks, those aren't actual pieces of clay. Let's get that one rinsed off so I can show you. That's a nice big gray rock. But those have been moving around, churning up all that clay. Now the problem with this process is if I let this sit for about 5 minutes, this is going to solidify and become a complete brick, and I'll have to go through this all over again. So what we're going to do is we're going to stir this up. I'm going to put my classifier on the bucket over here, and we're going to dump through the classifier and take some of the biggest rocks out. Alright, so now that we processed that bucket and we got our chocolate milk here, there's only about 2 inches of this stuff on the bottom, but you can see it's this beautiful black sediment. That's what's going to be holding all your gold and your heavies. But you can see when I scrunch that, it'll stick together for a second, but it breaks up really easy. Whereas the clay would make it form a ball. So this is the stuff we're after. I'll dump this out, and hopefully I'll be able to show you guys what this looks like a little bit better. But this is going to dump out the rest of that clay as well. So now it's been dumped out of 2 buckets, and it won't harden up on us, and our material's nice and free. There we go, perfect. So I'll bring a handful of this up to the camera with the bucket. But this is the material we're looking at right here. See how beautiful and black that is? That's holding all your black sands, all your heavies, and like I said, it falls right apart. So I'm going to go ahead, try not to get eaten alive by the black flies, and I do a whole bunch more buckets. Sorry, swallowed a black fly there. Do a few more buckets, and we'll meet you guys at home, and we'll go through the next steps to see how we get this stuff super clean. Alright guys, we're back home, and to be honest with you, that beanie was not a good choice. It is bloody hot out here and the black flies are crazy, in case you guys can't make them out. So what I like to do here, I'll fill my bucket up with water as I have just now, and what I'll do, I'm going to put the hose in there, and what it's going to do is wash all that water out, and it's going to take some of that muck and clay with it, and it's going to leave us with nice clean concentrates behind, and then we'll be ready to put them through our sluice. So let's have at her. There we go. And we will just simply leave that in there till it cleans itself out.
5 minutes later.
Alright, so now that we've kind of got some of the muck out of there, we're going to pour off the water. Almost down to our cons. And let's see what our beautiful cons look like. Look at that. Beautiful dark jet black. That will have some gold in it. I guarantee it, man. That's awesome. Alright guys, so let's just do a little bit of a recap here. So we started off, we brought our pails up to the stream. We did actually 22 half pails. So that's 22 5-gallon pails, half full. We've gone ahead, we've agitated them with water, we've taken all the heavies out of them, we've consolidated everything, we've used water to run off the clay, everything's been classified, and after all that, we are down to not even half of one of these 2-gallon pails. That goes to show you how much you have to process just to get those heavies out of the clay. Now that being said, I know from experience this stuff will have some gold in it. Hopefully it's a good amount. But let's go ahead, we're going to run it through our sluice. Then when that's done, we're going to go down to the panning station, pan it out, and see what we got. right, guys. Well, I'm super excited to see this. This is one of my favorite takes of the year. Get some jet dry into our oil change pan. Yeah, I mean, every year when the flood recedes in the spring, I get to catch that flood gold. There's only one more place that I've yet to do, which is my favorite, which is the gravel bar. We'll do that in a future video. Like I said, probably going to be a couple weeks before I head out there because holy smokes, the black flies are terrible. But here is our sluice cons. You can still see you got some clay in that water, but get these beautiful chunky kind of cons. Really, really nice looking stuff. Very, very dark, of course, as you'd expect sluice cons from clay to be. Let's take a look, see what we get here. Always excited for this reveal. It's one of those things you look forward to every year, right? It's almost if any of you guys are fishermen, like you have a special spot, like, oh wow, there's always a nice big bass behind that rock, right? This is kind of my bass behind the rock from a prospecting point of view. We'll peel this back, get a nice reveal. A beautiful piece of clear quartz there. Sure how the sluice, yeah, must have got caught in the sluice. Look at that, that's perfectly clear. Gorgeous. That for the gem jar. Pyrite coming down there. And oh baby, look at that. What a beautiful take we got there. Really, really nice smile of flower gold. I'll get this cleaned up. We're going to take a picture. And you know what? Just for the heck of it, I don't normally do this on my prospecting videos. But let's get a weight, because next year when I do this again, I want to see if I get more or less. All right, so we got our pan on the scale. We're going to tear that out. Get our awesome gold down here. No pickers, but that's okay. Some nice flakes that you would call feelers. You can feel them, but you can't quite pick them up. Some people call them stickers. If you lick your finger and push it down on it hard enough, it'll stick to your finger. But away we go. Actually doing quite well. Nice. Almost done. Very hard to get this fine gold out of the pan sometimes. It can be static cling almost. Just like that. 0.21 grams. That's awesome. 0.22 grams. We'll call it right now. 0.22. It's not moving. Awesome stuff. Alrighty. So there you go, folks. Nice day out. I mean, I could have done without those black flies, that's for sure. But that being said, we processed some of that clay. I only get to do that once a year. Give it another couple of weeks. The black flies will be done, but that gold will be way, way down in that clay, and you'll never see that again. So, awesome stuff. Again, really happy with what we got. We're going to take 2 weeks off of prospecting because, man, these flies are crazy. But we'll find something else to do. Maybe some metal detecting. You'll see in the next video. Maybe even a pay dirt review. Who knows, right? That being said, guys, I want to thank everyone for watching. Cheers, and we'll catch you on that next adventure.